I pushed the papers away from me again with a huff. This was hopeless. "Come in!" I whirled my seat around and watched in a daze as my daydreams were conjured from thin air. "Patrick," I muttered. My mind went blank for a split second before recovering. I crossed my arms over my chest and eyed him skeptically. "Hey, Moore." I liked the way the nickname only my family used sounded on his tongue, and the shape of his perfect lips when he said it. It was way better than the other nickname he liked to use, Mini Wright. I might still be small, but I was a force to be reckoned with. There was nothing mini about my personality. "To what do I owe the pleasure?" "Came to give you this." He handed me a piece of paper. I took it from him, but kept my eyes on him for a second longer, admiring his crooked smile and the baby blues that were my undoing. "What's this?" It took me a full minute to process what I saw on the top of the document. Then my head snapped up at him. I jumped out of my chair. "You're quitting?" I gasped. "Nah, I just handed you my resignation for no reason. Don't be a shit." "Me?" I rolled my eyes at him and glanced back down at the paperwork. I straightened my shoulders and tried to relax. God, Patrick was the only person who could get me to lose my composure. But Patrick quitting Wright Construction could be a blessing in disguise. Not that I was going to let him know I thought so. "Outside offer?" I guessed. He shrugged. "Yeah." "And you're not even going to let me counter?" I asked with an arched eyebrow. I tossed the paperwork back at him. "How much?" He caught it, and then set it on top of the paperwork I'd been ignoring. Then he placed his hand on my shoulder and looked down into my dark brown eyes. It was that look, that one I couldn't shake. I swore he saw me in those moments, when it was just me and him, and not my family or friends. Definitely not his best friend, my brother Austin. But then the moment broke, like it always did, and I was just his best friend's little sister again. "I brought this to you before I told everyone else more, because I know you don't like to let people go." My mouth popped open, and I quickly recovered. "Well, I've let enough people go in my life." Both of my parents had died before my 16th birthday. 2 out of 3 of my brothers had moved out of state at one point. I didn't like change. Not like that. "I know." He ruffled my hair. I ducked out from under his touch. "You've always been like that. Loyal. I like it." I swallowed. "Well, I'm a Wright, through and through. Most of the time, I feel that way too. But Tech made me an offer I couldn't refuse, and it's not about the money." I exhaled in relief. Okay, so he wasn't leaving, just working at Texas Tech, which was near the Wright building. "And I can't change your mind?" "You know I'd do anything for you," he said with that same grin. My heart skipped a beat. "Anything, huh?" "Oh, God, what have I promised?" He laughed. "Come on, Moore, let's get out of here. I'll drop the paperwork off at Julia's office on the way out." Julia was the head of HR and also Austin's girlfriend. I adored her and everything she had done to help my brother. "I can't," I said reluctantly. I glanced at the hours of work I still had ahead of me. "You work too much." "You're not the first person to say that today." "Oh?" he asked. "David says it all the time, actually." "David?" Patrick said, his voice flat. "Yeah, he's a great guy. I'm glad we hired him." I rambled on. "But I'm behind because of all the training, so I can't really leave." Patrick's eyes slid to the paperwork. "It's Friday. This will all be here on Monday morning." "Monday?" I scoffed. "I'll be working from home all weekend." "You give me a headache." I laughed. "No, I..."